We came into the market in April 2024, and we've onboarded just over 100,000 customers in those 18 months. What we're building right now is the financial infrastructure for the fintech and Web3 space in the UAE.
Makes a lot of sense to have all your assets organized into one place. Even me personally, someone who has 85 employees and has to do the whole payroll thing, it's very fragmented.
There's no conflict between digital assets and Islamic finance.
What do you do that's kind of above and beyond the regular bank that's incorporated crypto?
We're able and open and willing to open accounts for all of the burgeoning businesses and freelancers and entrepreneurs and startups out here because they're being pushed away by most of the existing banks in the country.
Really knowing your audience helps. Laser focus on who your audience is, and that appeals to them.
What we've been seeing in Dubai and the UAE over the past 18 months, there's a lot of companies that have moved over from Singapore to set up here in the UAE.
Ruya means vision, correct? So you guys have a vision and you're sticking to it. Hey guys, so we are here today at Future Blockchain Summit with Christoph Koster, who's the CEO of Ruya. Christoph, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So what brings you to Future Blockchain Summit?
All right. So at Ruya, we're really happy and proud this year to be headline sponsoring the Fintech Summit and the Future Blockchain Summit. We're a digital Islamic bank. We've been around for 18 months now. So we came into the market in April 2024. It's a retail and commercial bank. And we've onboarded just over 100,000 customers in those 18 months.
400,000?
100,000 customers.
That's huge.
I know. It's a big number for us. And we're going at a rate of about 150,000 a year at this space now. So hoping to cross 250,000 by sometime mid next year or in the second half of next year.
That's massive growth.
Yeah. And so ever since the beginning of the year, we've really ventured out into the SME and fintech space. So we're doing a couple of things that are relevant for the audience here. One is we're giving just regular corporate banking accounts to all of the startups and fintechs out here and supporting the SME and startup ecosystem in the UAE. Number two is we're providing banking as a service to fintechs and blockchain and Web3 players and crypto exchanges. So the idea here is that they can offer banking services through their platform, and we become the invisible plumbing and infrastructure behind it. And we're deploying Web3 technologies, stablecoin rails into our own offering as well. So these are sort of the three things why we're here.
That's amazing. I love to see it. You know, as someone who's been in the space since 2017, I know how much I struggled with the whole banking thing, moving off-boarding off-ramp, on-ramp of crypto.
Yeah.
So it's great to see more and more neobanks coming up. But this type of growth, 100,000 users in the first 18 months is remarkable. What do you think led to this influx?
So I think there's a couple of things. One is we are a community bank in the truest sense of the word. So we're here to support the community, and that includes everybody from the chairman to the driver in the country on the retail banking side. But more importantly, also on the SME and fintech and startup space, we're able and open and willing to open accounts and corporate banking accounts for all of the burgeoning businesses and freelancers and entrepreneurs and startups out here because they're being pushed away and being turned away by most of the existing banks in the country, because this is business that most other big banks are not interested in, right? And that is a niche that we've carved out for ourselves. And as a digital Islamic bank, we place a lot of value on ethical consumerism, right, and treating our customers fairly and according to the underlying principles of Islamic finance, and that resonates with a lot of people.
Right. So does that mean it's Sharia compliant?
100%, exactly.
Okay.
So we're a fully fledged Islamic bank, and all of the products and services that we put on our platform are Sharia compliant, and all our customers have the assurance that whatever they see and feel and hear on Ruya is Sharia compliant.
I guess really knowing your audience helps, right? Like it's like laser focus on who your audience is, and that appeals to them.
Right.
So Sharia compliant. So I'm assuming that the MENA region is going to be your focus. Any plans to expand globally?
All right. So the UAE UAE is a big enough playground for us at the moment, and we're really focused on deepening our market penetration in the UAE and supporting both the retail and commercial space here in the UAE. We happen to be headquartered in Ajman, and we've been welcomed there with open arms. But we are active all across the UAE. We have the majority of our customers coming from Dubai, then Abu Dhabi, and then Sharjah and Ajman and Northern Emirates. So the UAE is really a very exciting space for us, and with all of the initiatives and the pace that the UAE is going, and the amount of money, brand, and effort that is being put behind growing the startup ecosystem and fintech ecosystem in Dubai and the UAE, we believe that is going to be a big enough and exciting enough space for us.
That's a really good way to put it. And I guess Ruya means vision, correct? So you guys have a vision and you're sticking to it. So
exactly.
It's great to see that. Apart from, being banking as a service, is this what can users really get from a neobank? Like, what do they get that's different apart from like exposure to crypto? Can they buy crypto? Do you guys encourage? Do you guys educate? Like, what do you do that's kind of above and beyond a regular bank that's incorporated crypto?
Right. So two things. One is, as a digital native bank, we removed all of the friction that traditional banks would have. So you get everything that a boring bank would be doing. You get your good old salary account and your savings account and your cards and your kids account and your personal finance and your credit card and everything that you would want. But at the same time, you also get all of the new and exciting things. So you'll be able to invest on the platform into traditional markets, stocks and ETFs, and global sukuk. You'll be able to invest in gold, and you'll be able to invest in cryptocurrencies.
That's amazing. So stocks here in the UAE or in the US as well?
Both local, regional, and global across the US, across other developed markets, and as well emerging markets. Today, into stocks, into listed securities and stocks directly. In the future, into tokenized versions of those same stocks.
That's amazing, and that's huge exposure for many people.
Yeah.
I'm curious, apart from the UAE, I know you mentioned the UAE is a massive market, big enough market for you, but what about diving into Saudi and other neighboring countries, or is that not a focus?
So I think what we've been seeing in Dubai and the UAE is that a lot of companies globally have come set up here. Either entrepreneur startups or multinationals come and set up here and serve the region from here, and we serve those companies from here.
Okay.
What you've seen, especially in the Web3 space over the past sort of 18 months, is there's a lot of companies that have moved over from Singapore to set up here in the UAE. A lot of centralized exchanges have come over to Dubai, setting up in Dubai under VARA licensing. So there's a lot happening in this space, and companies serving both the UAE and the region from here, and we serve those companies that are here.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Talk to me about your background. How did you get into crypto?
Well, look, it's an inevitable journey, really. I've been in banking for just about on and off 20 years. I'm not originally a banker, so I always came from different spaces that have led to banking. Ultimately, I was actually started off in renewable energies in the early 2000s.
In Germany?
That was in Germany.
Okay.
And Europe, exactly. And then throughout the financial crisis, I worked a lot with banks and in restructuring and turnaround consulting that worked a lot with banks at the time. That's how I got into banking. And I think
is that what moved you to the UAE?
Exactly. And then I transferred with that consulting company that I was working for in 2010. I transferred to Bahrain first for a year and then moved over to Dubai a year later. And then 15 years, 2 kids and a dog later, I'm still here and calling this my home. And I think in the banking space, the symbiosis between TradFi and DeFi, and really providing that bridge between the traditional banking system and crypto, traditional banking system and stable coins, etc., is where the journey is headed, right? And we're seeing this as the biggest opportunity in this space. So naturally, the banking space and myself with it are sort of evolving into that area.
That's very interesting. I mean, you say it's inevitable, but actually you don't see there are some bankers that are still completely anti-crypto, so it's great to see how you've involved and how not even just involved, like you've gone full-fledged with a neobank. I want to understand more about the crypto products that the bank has to offer to its customers. Yeah. Is it just the main Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, or do you offer more a wider range of cryptocurrencies to trade from?
Yeah. So what we're going to be putting on the platform to start with is Bitcoin and Ethereum as an investment product. So we're seeing this as part of a long-term investment strategy for our customers to be able to allocate part of their savings plans and investments in the future into Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically. And that's what we're going to be putting onto the platform in order for customers to be able to buy and sell directly on the platform against their Dirham account. That's number one. Number two is what we're doing is we're combining traditional finance with stablecoins. So we're working on our debit card, stablecoin enabled debit card, so that customers can, if they do have stablecoins or crypto holdings, they can just walk around the corner and buy their coffee with their regular Ruya debit card. That, if there's not enough fiat currency or dirham in their account, will automatically draw from their stablecoin. That's number two. And number three is the banking as a service offering, where we are enabling the banking infrastructure for WASPs, or virtual asset service providers, or cryptocurrency exchanges. And the reason we're doing this is that a lot of people who invest into cryptocurrencies or digital assets more broadly want to live the majority of their financial lives onto those platforms, right? So if you're today with one of the large centralized exchanges, you invest there, you trade there, you want to receive your salary there. You want to be able to pay your children's school fees from there. You want to be able to just, again, walk around the corner and buy a coffee from there without having to go back to your banking app and do it from there after moving money, off-ramping from your exchange to your bank. So we're providing the infrastructure to the WASPs to be able to give their customers on their platform seamlessly integrated all of the banking services that we provide at the back. So WASPs will have the ability to open their own operating accounts, their client money accounts for their trading wallets, as well as the regular boring quote-unquote banking services, their current account, their savings, their cards, their personal finance, their school fees, their credit cards, and all of the other services, right? That gives them the ability for people to really live on their platform of choice.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a need for that right now. Like, even me personally, a crypto investor, someone who banks here in the UAE, someone who has 85 employees and has to do the whole payroll thing. It's very fragmented. It's like I'm using 20 different apps for different services. So it makes a lot of sense to have like all your assets kind of organized into one place.
So I'll give you an example for you as a company. That's actually the perfect example. You will be able to receive stablecoin based payments through your Stripe, Zina, Mamo, Nomad payment service provider on the exchange, right? And pay your payroll directly at the end of the month from there. Right? Yeah. You will have your own accounts and your employees directly on the exchange with a card and all of the services they want.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people think that when something is an Islamic bank, or when you have like a Islamic platform, or you have Sharia-compliant, that this is only relevant to the Muslim community. However, the UAE is full of expats. I mean, more expats than, I don't know what the percentage of the Muslim population is, but this is something that this is applicable for anybody, any culture, any religion.
100%. Islamic banking is not a prerogative for the Muslim population, but it's based on underlying values of transparency and trust, tradability, real assets.
Right. So that's what I wanted you to elaborate on. Right. Is what makes it an Islamic bank? What does Sharia compliant actually entail? What does it mean?
Right. So there's a few. So for us, Sharia compliance is just one aspect of it, one dimension of it. But more importantly is that all our products and services and the way we treat our customers and whatever we put on the platform follows the underlying values of the Islamic economy and Islamic finance. So the Islamic economy is driven by values of equity and distributed ownership and moderation and transparency and fairness, right? And Islamic finance, if you then lift that up by one dimension, prohibits a few things, but more importantly, like interest, right, or excess uncertainty. But more importantly, it places focus on a few fundamental and age-old values of you need to be able to trade based on a real asset, and you need to be able to own it, and you need to be able to trade it, and you need to be able to identify this asset. And Bitcoin fulfills all of those criteria, and some other coins or digital assets as well. So there's no conflict between digital assets and Islamic finance. On the contrary, we're living proof that those things go very well hand in hand, and we're offering these digital assets as a means of investing in Sharia-compliant products for our customers. And exactly as you said, Islamic finance is not about a play on religion or faith, and is not just limited to Muslims. Everybody can bank with an Islamic bank if they identify with the underlying values.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. Okay, so let's say we're sitting here next year, Future Blockchain Summit 2026. Where do you hope to be?
Well, I hope to be here in Dubai.
I'm sure you will be. Actually, after this, I'm going to look into Ruya because I need those services.
Oh, 100%.
I'm going to start banking with you, corporate as well.
Yeah, 100%. You have to.
Yeah.
I think what we're building right now is the financial infrastructure for the fintech and Web3 space in the UAE, right? And that is a bold vision for us, because if the UAE says they're going to do something, they are going to do something. And if they're saying that the UAE is going to become the startup capital of the world, and the fintech capital of the world, and the Web3 capital of the world, then I believe that they're going to be able to do this. And we're becoming the infrastructure behind it, enabling this ecosystem and bridging sort of TradFi and DeFi with each other, and giving customers the trust that stands behind a bank that is regulated and licensed by the Central Bank of the UAE.
Right. Awesome. Well, I really hope to see you here next year with a 250,000 users, or even half a million users. Yeah. I was thinking billion. Right. Well, you'll get there for sure. And it's really nice to see an all-encompassing platform. I think it's so required in today's world. And yeah, it was great chatting with you.
Right. Likewise. Thank you so much for having us.
My
pleasure. And hope to see you again next year.
For sure.